Hi, hello and welcome. Now what is limit load or limiting the rows in Power BI? So what happens is, now imagine you have 10 years of retail sales data or a finance data, which is humongous. So what we do is we can't load all the 10 years of data to Power BI desktop because your computer resource may not allow you to do that because it's a huge data, right? So in those cases, what we do is we'll not load every data or all the rows into Power BI desktop. Instead, we use something called as parameter in Power Query Editor and limit the number of rows. Then work with those rows and put up all the front end so that it's easy to work in the Power BI desktop. Then publish or push this developed application to Power BI service, which is on the cloud. So from there, you can again run it and fetch all the data. Since it's on cloud, it has a resource, so it can run the complete data and fetch you there, and users would see all the data. So you'll be working with a subset of data in your Power BI desktop, and your Power BI service will have all the data what they need. Now let's see how to achieve that in Power BI dynamically so that you don't have to hard code anything much. You just have to create the parameters first and then just push it to Power BI service and change the parameters there. Let's see how to do that. So if you see now, I have a data set over here, which is a fact sales table. Right now I have almost 12,594 rows. It's just a count of rows over here. Let me go to the transform data over here, which will open up our Power Query Editor. So we have this table, which is our fact sales with 12,000 odd data or 12,000 odd rows of data. Now let's see how to create a parameter and limit the row count over here. To do that, click on Manage Parameters over here. New parameter. You can give any name you want. I'll just give it as limit rows. And select decimal number because any and binary wouldn't work on the Power BI service. So select a decimal number and 100 over here. Current value as 100 and click OK. So I have my limit rows as 100. So I have set the parameter. Right now we have to call that parameter in our fact sales table. To do that, the first thing what I'll do is I'll click on this keep rows, keep top rows, and instead of the number, right, just click on the parameter. We only have one parameter, so it's selected over here. So click OK and go to the advanced editor. Now you can see the step what we have applied over here, limiting the rows. So we'll also add one more piece of code, a line of code over here, which is limit is equal to if the limit rows what we have given, okay, the parameter, if the parameter is greater than 0, then so if we enter anything else other than 0, then it will run this piece of code, else run the whole table, which is a table name. Okay, so what it will do over here is, so if we change the parameter to 0, it will run everything, it will fetch all the data, and if we give any other number than 0, then it will run that particular this piece of code where we have entered that particular number. That's it. So we have to change the last line. We'll just copy this limit and put it over here. That's it. That's all we have to do. Just click done. Okay. Now let's go ahead and see, change it to 5. We only have 5 rows. Okay. So what we'll do over here is, let's close and apply this. So we had 12,594 rows. Now we only have 5 rows. We can also edit the parameters from here. Just click on the transform data, edit parameters, and click, instead of 5, I'll give 10, hit enter and apply changes. Now we'll get the 10 rows of data. So imagine that you have like 100,000 rows over here, which is a subset of a million or 10 million rows, and you have just worked with 100,000 rows instead of 10. Okay. And you can publish this subset of data to a Power BI service. then just change the parameter in the service so that it will pull all the data. Let's publish this. Saving the changes. I've logged into my service account over here. Let me go to my workspace. So we had limit load over here. This is the one. So if I click on this, you can see that I only have 10 rows. Okay, so what we can do over here is come to this semantic layer over here. So click on this 3 dots, go to the settings, and in the parameters I can go and change this to 0. Okay, apart from any other number, give it a 0 and click apply. Now we have all the data. So that's what we can do. We can always work with a subset of data in Power BI desktop so that it's not going to crash. And when you upload it, you can come here and change the parameter in the settings over here so that you have all the data in Power BI service so that users can see all the data. So that's how you can limit the rows in Power BI. You can also use it, use the parameters with the date or with the country name or any field like that as well. And you can limit the number of rows accordingly. Do subscribe to our channel and see you in the next one.